find my strength. With every breath I sing and say, I will rise, I will rise, I will rise, I will rise. Mount up on eagle's wings, I will rise, I will rise, I will rise.
So there were days when giving up thought in my mind, but I won't give up. I gotta get up and fight. Oh God, give me the strength, not letting go. I'm holding on to the end. The righteous fall 7 times, but rise again. Dry bones, you can live again. Lord, I know that you love me. Show me your ways, please go before me.
I will rise, I will rise,
mount up on
eagle's wings, I will rise, I will rise, I will rise, I will rise, I will rise,
mount up on eagle's
wings, I will rise, I will rise, mount up on eagle's wings, I will rise. My change has come, he called me friend. My season of overflow, my God is saying,
Lord, you renewed my mind, you transformed my life. Lord, the chains are broken, and I will rise.
I will rise.
For me to the
I will rise.
Mount up on eagle's wings,
I will rise. Mount up on eagle's wings, I will rise. I will rise.
Going to the
I will rise.
Mount up,
I will rise.
mount up on
Mount up on eagle's wings. I will rise.
Mount up on eagle's wings.
Indeed. Welcome, everybody. It is another Saturday evening, and it is a good evening for a lot of people wherever you are. If you're joining us from a different time zone, good morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening, wherever you are. I've changed my location just for today. I am coming to you live out of New York. New York. I'm telling you. Listen, man, New York, you all need to do better with all these snow and everything over here, you know. No, sir. It's not normal in a New York. And I had a great day, by the way, everybody. I I I had this on my bucket list to do, where I wanted to shovel snow. 'Cause, we come from Georgia. We now have them kind of something down in Georgia, and when it's snow, I want a little bit. But man, snow is almost covered me, man, in New York. Yeah, man. And I shoveled snow all evening, and I was just having fun. I was trying to feel my ears one of the time, and I couldn't feel my ears. I started to ask myself the question, do I even have a ears? Man, it is terrible, terrible. So good evening. Thank you so much. All right. I want to say welcome to my brother, Hugh Osborne. My passion, good evening to you. Good evening, Millicent Loftus. Good evening, Sharon Faulkner. Good evening, Maxine Jenkley. Good evening. Maxine, I never talk to the snow over here, though. Yeah, man. Talk to the snow over here, man. Them snow are not normal at all. But we're having a good time. We're having a good time, and we're getting work done. Before I introduce our guest, I want to remind you that the Floodgates album launch and Embrace the Promise book tour is coming up. In fact, we are also here on that business in New York. Tomorrow, we're going to be going down to the Elam Restoration Church of God. We're going to be stopping by. We're going to also be stopping by Pastor Leslie over there in Brooklyn as well. Prodigal Son, myself, Pastor Kelly, Minister Kimika. Hopefully we'll be joined by Judith Gale and Brother John. We're just going to be having a good time. All right. So we're promoting and we are telling of God's love at the same time. All right. So do remember February 11th, 12th, and 13th is the big day. Also, Embrace the Promise. If you have not yet done so, it's online, it's available. There are a number of ways you can purchase. You can order from 770-873-7625. You can also visit our website at www.drkj.org. That's www.drkj.org. You can order books there. You can order CDs there, USBs there, whatever you need. You can get it. You can also check Amazon.com for Embrace the Promise, and you can also check Barnes and Noble. Let us welcome our guests. I want to say welcome to Mrs. Waite, Mrs. Nicole Reed Waite. Welcome. Are you missing me? Okay. You're muted.
Oh, hi.
I see that you're missing me. You changed your location.
Yeah.
I miss you too. Also, want to say, by the way, how's the weather down there?
It's cold.
Really? And you're not in New York?
Yeah, it's cold.
Wow. Want to say welcome to Dr. Shane Mark Tull, our clinical psychotherapist. Dr. Tull, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I am also in New York.
You know what? I saw that you were in New York. I did.
I
Yeah.
am.
How was your trip in Jamaica? By the way, we're going to be talking a little bit about your book.
Great. It was wonderful. I really had a good time. Very well received, and I enjoyed the beach while I was there. One day, but it was okay.
I didn't know you could swim.
I can.
Good to have you back, Doc. Good to have you back.
Thank you.
Also, want to say welcome to John Lasley. Brother John, how are you? All right, Brother John, you're muted.
Sorry.
You know, I'm
All right, good. It's off now. It's good. Sorry about that. I'm well, thank you. Bless God.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Also, want to say welcome to Pastor Kelly and Minister Kimika. I'm sorry, Pastor Kelly, that I had to evict you from your own place.
That's all right.
Minister Kimika, how you doing?
I'm good. Bless up, Doc, and blessings, everyone.
Thank you.
Am I beautiful? Hello. Hey.
I see she's still trying to get her phone situated. All right. Yes, she's still trying to get her phone situated. Also want to say welcome this evening. For those of you who were on last week, we took the time out to invite the caller this week, the person of the CEO. We're going to use his name today. His real name is Calvin Wilby, Dr. Calvin Wilby, and he is also known as Prodigal's son. My brother Prodigal, how you doing? Yeah. Prodigal, you start drawing bunkie already, Prodigal. Where you at? Where are you, Prodigal? All right, we're gonna wait for Mr. Prodigal to open his eyes. He fell asleep. Also, in the meantime, let me just apologize for Bishop Revelina McPherson. He was on set for today, but he just came in. he had some work doing today, and he just came in, so he would not be in time to catch a program. However, he'll be joining us next week. Also, next week we're going to be joined again by Dr. Dunbar, Carla Dunbar. All right. I'm seeing that we're having quite a bit of distraction on the line. I'm noticing that Mrs. Waite is trying to get her phone sorted out. Pastor Kelly's missing. Prodigal son is sleeping. So there is quite a number of distraction on the line today. But anyway, the show goes on. All right. So why not let us do this while we get everybody situated? Let's play.
I may say, oh, Lord, ow, ow, ow. I may say, oh, Lord, ow, ow, ow. Why? Lord have mercy. I stumble through the hours, yeah, with tears in my eyes. I know my storm's not over, but my battles will be won. I've been this place before, yeah. This is my threshing floor. My shame may be battered, but I know my alcohol. Yeah, getting weary, journey so long, but I'ma hold on, I'ma hold strong. Use my faith to move the mountain. Pray till something happens. I am not leaving, till you bless me, Lord. I am not leaving, till you bless me, Lord. I'm after your heart, not your hands, Lord. I'm available for your blood. You can use me for your glory. Here to tell your story, even though I'm not worthy of now. Anywhere that you send me, I go. From the hills into the valleys, from the churches to the street. Me and the dream, but I'm getting weird. Journey so long, I'm a hold on, I'm a hold strong. Use my faith and move a mountain. Pray till something happens. I am not leaving, till you bless me, Lord. I am not leaving, till you bless me, Lord. If you don't send me, I won't go. Where you lead, Lord, I'll follow. On my knees, that's where I go. For my open doors. Won't let go till you bless me like Jacob. I'm desperate, Lord, please fix my focus. When trials of life overtake us, you never say. I am not leaving, till you bless me, Lord. I am not leaving, till you bless me, Lord. I am not leaving, till you bless me, Lord. I am not leaving, till you bless me, Lord. I stumble through the hours, yeah, with tears in my eyes. I know my storm's not over, but my battles will be won. I've been this place before, yeah. This is my threshing floor. My shame may be battered, but I know my alcohol. Yeah, getting weary, journey so long, but I'ma hold on, I'ma hold strong. Use my faith to move the mountain. Pray till something happens. I am not leaving, till you bless me, Lord. I am not leaving, till you bless me, Lord. I am not leaving, till you bless me, Lord. I am not
Welcome back. Indeed, I am not leaving until you bless me, Lord. If you're just joining us, welcome. This is our relationship talk, and it is sexual matters. Sexual matters. This evening, we're going to be continuing with sexual frustration in the marital bedroom. Sexual frustration in the marital bedroom. All right. All right. There we have the CEO. All right. He is fully awoke. He is now awoken, has awoken. Dr. Tull, let me ask a question. We're actually going to be talking about sexual frustration in the marital bedroom, and you've been out for a few weeks on your book tour. And from all indication, you were having a grand time. I saw you meeting some powerful people in Jamaica and also in the United States. So again, congratulations to you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you,
Congratulations.
sir.
Now, let me ask a question, Doc. In your practice as a clinical psychotherapist, have you ever come across an individual that doesn't have an interest in sex?
Yeah,
Really? Tell us
yeah.
about.
But I think also you have to look at the reason that that person may lose interest or not have interest in sex. And in the research, it shows that it goes back to a childhood trauma that they experienced. So most people that are not very involved in sex, if you go back to their childhood, that's where it originates from. There's a school of thought that we're all recovering from a childhood trauma. That is very correct. So it really, the goal is to help the person and the couple to deal with that trauma, and how do you encourage them to learn intimacy, because it's not really sex itself, the activity is the fear of intimacy that people hold on to, and they're unable to express that in a loving, safe environment.
What are some of the things that would have happened to them in their childhood? For example, because we're trying to get a little bit specific, leading up to frustration in a
Mhm.
sexual frustration in the bedroom, and what might be some of the reasons that cause one partner to perhaps frustrate the other partner in the bedroom. What are some of the reasons that you see that happening, with persons in the past?
Most times it's been my experience that it's been sexual molestation, rape, other if you think of a 13-year-old exploring themselves, and the parent caught them and tell them, oh, this is horrible, you're going to hell, blah blah blah. That really impacts how someone look at their sexual behavior and their sexuality. So we so think of a 13-year-old boy being admonished by a mother, a aunt, a grandmother, saying, oh, what you're doing is wrong, it's nasty, you're going to go to hell. That really has a psychological impact on that young man, and it will definitely be expressed in how he navigates relationships and how he engages in those relationships or does not engage in those relationships.
So you're saying that as a result of that, a
Mhm.
man, for example,
Or women.
okay, that can lead them to create an atmosphere of frustration in the bedroom.
Well, I don't think it leads them to create an atmosphere of frustration. What happens? They're not they're not willing to participate in what happens in the bedroom, and it's not that they don't want to. It's because of experiencing that trauma, they are unable to allow themselves or give themselves that permission to enjoy that intimacy that is rightfully healthy.
Minister Kimika, Doc just made mention of one of the reasons that may lead a woman to sexually frustrate her husband in the bedroom if that person was being molested. You have shared your story on a number of occasions, so I'm feeling very comfortable in asking you the question: do you agree with what Doc just says? Yes or no? And if you do agree, how did you overcome your fears if you agree with him?
Yes, I do agree, because being molested and then rape, it messed up my mind. It messed up my mind when it comes to sex relationship, and it was kind of hard for me. And when I met my husband, it was he was sexually frustrated in the beginning of our marriage, because I was still going through that trauma, because I was single for 7 years, and I was like, okay, I'm fine. I don't need no sex. I don't need anything. But being married, I realized that there were still issues there, I was so angry because of what happened to me. So when I met him, and we used to do some stuff to me, I'm like, and I used to have flashbacks. I have
Mhm.
flashbacks of when I was raped, of when I was molested. And I
Mhm.
said to him, babe, I can't believe I just remember when I was molested. And he's like, you did? I said, yes, I did. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do certain things. So it kind of let me not wanting to try certain things in the beginning of my mind, because I was like, why do I have to do this? I was forced to do it in the beginning of my life. So why do I have to do this now? And then, we talk about it. After we talk about, we started doing stuff, and I prayed to God, and I said, God, I need you to help me, because only you know how I feel inside. Only you know how I feel when he touched me, like, because I want to enjoy my husband. I don't want him to be frustrated. I don't want to be frustrated too because of what I've been through. It's not fair that I put stuff on him that I've been through in the past. It's not right. So I have to,
Absolutely.
like, go through the process of dealing with when he touched me. Like, it's not my abuser that's touching me. It is my husband that's touching me. So I have to reprogram my mind to accept my husband kiss, my husband touch, my husband everything. This is everything. Like, everything, I gotta reprogram my mind, because I was just frustrated at sex. I didn't want it. But then he showed me that I can enjoy it. I can be free. I can do what I want to do. It's not forcing me, like my abuser, my raper forcing me. It's not taking place. It's my husband. I could just submit myself, and I could do whatever, and he could do whatever to me, and it's good. It's not bad. So I have to tell myself it's good, and that's how I get over it. And God help me too.
You have no idea right now the amount of person that you're helping, even by sharing your story right now. It's a very powerful piece you just gave us just now. I see Doctor was agreeing with everything you were
Yeah.
saying, the way you were articulating it, the way you were putting it. And what I love about what you just did a while ago, you were so open and honest.
Yes.
Right, and the fact that your husband is sitting right next to you, and
Yeah.
that's why I want to ask you, Pastor Kelly,
Yes,
at
sir.
the beginning when you were sexually frustrated, how did you deal and cope with that?
When I greetings everyone again. When I started out, I had made up my mind. I mean, because you shared some stuff with me before, and I knew within myself that it wasn't of myself accepting who she is based on the stuff that she tell me. The heart of compassion, the heart of love, the heart of being kind, the heart of being, real, as though she has been real to share these things to me. And I said, God, you really, and you have set up this, because if it was the old me, the one who would have choose and making choices in those days, and lose it because of my wrong choices, I know that it was the Lord who had put this in place. And I came into the marriage, seeing these things start to unfold, things, because remember, being away, not knowing each other like that, not have the encounters in the way of being in the relationship, in marriage, or even being close, living together in certain forms. Things are not, we are ignorant to those things. But my mind was set, and the Lord helps me because I desire for a change in my life. So when I come into this relationship, I come with a mindset knowing that I know it's the Lord, and I know I love her, and I know that this is gonna work. So when I met the things I'm coming out now into the relationship, in our marital sexual relationship, I see the things coming. I'm a human. It doesn't feel good, but I had made up my mind. The consciousness about it is that I've made up my mind, knowing that she have told me, she have not deceived me. She have told
Mhm.
me of these things. So I've known of some of the stuff them, that what would be the cause why she act this way? What would be the cause why she's so distant in the things that I am experienced about, or the things that I have no say it should have been, because that's what we are look for. Because we all look for things from each other into our marriage. So what I see is that she was having challenges, and the things that she have not seen in her own self, I would be the one to enlighten her, to say to her, say that a go on, real Jamaican talk, say that a go on. She not see it, but I saw it. So that's how I know that the Lord has put us together, for I to be the one, or us to come together to understand about her life and about my life, how we can work it out. It wasn't pretty, but I can say to you, we did try our best, and it is getting better every day.
Amen.
Yeah, all we can say there is to God be the glory.
Amen.
Some of the things that I hear coming out of your story, Pastor Kelly and Minister Kimika, is, you both were open with each other. So, Minister, you gave him, you laid it on the table,
Yes.
and you said, "This is a situation.
Yeah.
This is where I'm at. Can you handle this?" And so you gave him the choice, but
Yeah.
you believe deep in your heart that this was of God, but you
Amen.
wanted to lay it out. Mrs. Wade, their honesty. What do you, based on listening to Pastor Kelly and Minister Kimika, do you think that was a very good strategy, or that should be a method to be adopted by others who are seeking to get into a relationship and to help to prevent or to lessen sexual frustration in their marriage?
Good evening, everyone. Oh yes, I do believe that with Minister Kimika being so honest to Pastor Kelly, I think that was the best thing she did. And with Pastor Kelly, well, he sees things that she does not see, and he being honest with her. Yes, that was very good of both of them to be honest. And I believe that when you're going into marriage, honesty and being open and all of that, tell the person about your past and try not to use the past on the person. Yeah, I think that's good. Well, that's the best thing I believe in any marriage.
Brother John, lastly, do you think that you should really tell your spouse before you get into marriage everything of your past?
Listen, openness and transparency is the best method of solving any problem or, getting things to work. Now, you said everything and anything. Well, with wisdom, it speaks that you know, while you're around your partner and your spouse, you learn them, you understand them. So you can be careful in saying any and everything, but there are things that you cannot withhold and you should not withhold. I admire Pastor Kelly and Minister Kamika because being so transparent and so open, and like you said before, this is helping a lot of people because the truth about it is that people go into marriage and people hide because of pride. They are hiding things. Nobody want to come out and say, you know what? This is what I have experienced before. This was my past. Now we are together. You're gonna have to understand my past in order for us to understand where we're going together in the future. And people need to have those understandings. We need to take off the mask out of the marriage, out of the bedroom. We need to be fully transparent. If there was if you were traumatized, if there was stuff that you have gone through, sexual molestations, different things, it is best to put it on the table because your spouse, your partner might see you reacting. They might see that you're behaving a particular way, and they do not understand what is the foundation, what is the roots of this, and then they become frustrated. It creates anger. Now you have a battle inside the marriage, inside the bedroom, inside the relationship, where the enemy wants to come in, and you give him a toehold. He come in and he create a foothold, while openness and transparency will help. Because if both persons are coming in and they're coming in into love, then we should not be judgmental, but we should be honest in trying to develop each other. So if you realize that I had a weakness, I had a problem before, and I come to you and tell you about my problem and my weakness, verse in the frame of being delivered, then it is for you to help and support me. Watch when you see if it look like I'm falling short and I'm falling weak. Don't judge me for it. Don't criticize me, but build me up. Tell me, hon, just like Pastor Kelly said, I see that you're veering here or you're veering there, and you have to be watchful. People have different things. If I'm a man who like to go out in the street, and when I'm out there, I see a woman with a nice figure, and it's a distraction for me because when I see a woman with a nice figure, my head is always turning. If I have a wife that I am transparent and can say, babes, when I go outside in the street, I see all them big bottoms and my head is turning. Help me and pray about it. You know what my wife can do? If we are out in the street and she see that my head is turned, she can nudge me and say, you know what, babes, it's time we get over this thing right now. This thing should not have hold of you. Instead of it creating a fight inside there because I told you that was my weakness. You watch me, you see I made a mistake. Now you start to condemn me, you start to fight me about it. We need to be able to support and build each other through our weaknesses. Transparency is necessary because when you see actions, things that are being done, and you understand where it's coming from, it helps you to bring healing to the and restoration to the relationship.
Mr. CEO, do you think it is really possible to be fully transparent when you're getting into a relationship? Let's say the woman has been with 40 men and she's going to this man who has probably never been to a woman before. He grew up in the church all his life. Do you think she's going to be fully transparent or should really be transparent? Or do you think there are just some things you say let sleeping dogs lie? What's your take on it?
Good evening, everybody. Personally, I think that time is very time is a factor in that. Most people really want to be open, really want to be transparent. They should be open, should be transparent, but also wisdom is very, very important in doing so, because you don't want to tell someone everything and at the end of the day they can't handle everything at the time. So I would say gently break it to them, tell them some things. You will understand the things they can deal with and what they can't deal with. But over a time, you should be transparent with your partner. But I would not advise, if you're not sure that you're gonna tell a man who is a goody two-shoe church youth, no know nothing about road, and you tell him, boy, you know me used to dance go-go, and then you lose your husband because of lack of wisdom. Be wise enough to say, I have some things, I have some past, I want to share it. And I would advise that some of the times, if some things are so deep or you think they might be harmful or whichever word you want to use, some people can't deal with it readily. I would advise that you get professionals involved. So you'd get your clinical psychologist, you would get your counselor, and you say, listen, I want to say something to you, but I want to break it to you this way. And then you can talk to your counselor. Then your counselor will know how to coach and coerce that conversation, that at the end of the day, your spouse will see you not in a negative way, but will even embrace you more. But sometimes you might want to do it without that, because some people who don't want to counsel. It's very important that you get people who are trained in these areas to break these things and to have dialogue with you and with your partners. And if your partner is willing to go counseling and you can break it that way, I would advise that way rather than you just talking to them and them can't accept that in them natural. Me a man, me I got there with one lady, and she was a stripper. And my friend, I got sister, I wonder who did say, when a counselor can say, listen, this is the reality that they know how to do it, they know how to dissect and to just give that to you in a soft way that you can understand it. I think you should be transparent to you, but at the end of the day, be wise about doing so.
Dr. Tull, I was going to come to you, but let me ask this question to John, for John to respond, and then I'm going to come back to you. Listeners, do remember you can participate in the conversation. You can make your comments, and our producer will put them on the screen so we can, take your questions and respond. Now, John, I imagine this question, or I want to think or believe that this question came as a result of a statement you made earlier on. Now, why not marry someone that you like to look at rather than out there having your head turned when you see a look good person? By the way, before you answer, John, Even in this question, you realize that the thinking of a man is totally different from the thinking of a woman. All right. Do remember, we're talking about frustration in the bedroom. What are some of the things that can lead up to any one of the party being frustrated in the bedroom? Now, John, based on this question, why not marry someone that you like to look at? Does that really suffice? Can that suffice the entire marriage?
Well, the truth about it, you should marry someone that you are attracted to and that the person is attracted to you. However, even though, let us be real here and talk from real experiences. Your wife could be the most beautiful and your husband could be the most beautiful. If there are things, and especially if you come in, whether it's physical attribute or whether the person, it's from a mental standpoint that you might see or hear something from, if that's an attraction to you, then it can pull attraction, whether or not you love your spouse. However, the pulling of the attraction is not the problem. It's how you handle the attraction. Because most men, if I can make that blanket statement, we are visual. And for Jamaicans, we like to see a woman we call it a Coca-Cola bottle shape. And, we like to see a nice shape. And even though, yes, you're not going to do anything with it, it's natural you pass somebody and they have a nice figure and your head might twitch. You know what I'm saying? For those who are stronger, when it happened, they know you keep yourself in check. Some men don't have that control. They're going to look and they're going to continue to look, even though that man might not do anything else apart from just looking. The statement that I was trying to make, I was not endorsing that, you should go out there and look. By no means, stretch of the imagination. What I'm saying is that people have different challenges. And when those challenges arise, whether it's looking, wherever the challenge come from, I'm saying you should be able to communicate openly with your partner, with your spouse, what the challenges are that you are facing, so that you can help each other without tearing on each other. So it's not a matter of getting married, because I would assume that if you are married to somebody, you are already attracted to that person, and that person already at least answer the physical part of your needs. But however, with just saying, you still might go outside there if it's a weakness that you have, or if it's a challenge, and something might get your attention. I'm saying, don't let that thing develop inside of you and take it to a place where God don't want it to, all because you could not get help in your spouse, or you keep it hidden and keep it in the closet. So now the enemy have one up on you because it's a secret fault that you have and he knows about it and he keep on playing with you. Now, when you have the transparency, especially with your spouse, that you can go and talk to them about the challenges, then that will help you to overcome, and it will also help you to manage those challenges. So, just being real.
Dr. Tull, back to you. The question earlier that I asked you, I want to do a follow-up. And also in thinking about what John Lastly just said a while ago, in your practice as a psychotherapist, clinical psychotherapist, do you or have you ever seen where this level of attraction to another person do create some amount of problems, frustration in the bedroom, causing one party to get itchy and eggy, or however you want to say it in Jamaican term, and that leads to something else, and before you know it, they're talking about divorce. Have you ever encountered that in your practice, and what are some of the pitfalls that they need to avoid in getting to that level?
Well, I believe that any couple that ends up in my office means that they're willing to get help and they want to work on their issues. So I use that as the gateway to empower them collectively to work on their issues. And to reply to what John was saying, I think we're human beings, we're visual, and we're going to see things that we like, and we will acknowledge those things, but it does not mean that we will pursue them. Okay, so I think it's important to clarify that. But I do believe that most couples that end up in a therapist's office are committed to getting help, and working on their issues. And I want to use this to really commend Minister Tamika and her husband for sharing so openly. I think it was organic and it was truthful, and I really believe that what you shared helped people. And I want to commend you for that, because that took a lot of strength, and I really appreciate you sharing.
Yeah, and I was going to also say, and I'm glad you raised that point, Doc. And I was also going to say, and it takes some amount of growth and maturity for her to, have been able to come on here and share it. And I tell you why I say that was growth and maturity. When she shared that story with us the first time, she volunteered the information, because that was the first time I was becoming aware of it right on this program. And it was after that, we sat and we spoke about it. And I realized, because when you first mentioned it, Minister Kimika, I wanted to believe that you might have been hurting when you mentioned it. But after we had the conversations, well, more than one conversations after, we realized that no, it was actually growth and maturity. She has gotten past this. And I want you to share with our listeners one of the ways that you got over it. And I'm going to tell you which one I wanted to share, because I thought that was very powerful, Minister Kimika, when you actually confronted the abuser.
Oh, wow. Wow, it was a hard task.
Yeah.
Because let me say which one. I confronted my molester, and I confronted the rapist. Oh my God. Which one you want me to talk about? The molester?
You can talk about anyone, just a confrontation. Yes, I wanted to talk about the confrontation.
Okay, so for my molester, I went back to him, and it was very hard, because I was in the military. I'm retired. I'm a retired sergeant. And in the army, I went to therapy because I had to see a psychologist, to talk about it, because it was affecting my life. And I wanted to kill my molester. I wanted to, that's one reason I joined the military, learning to kill men, and to travel. And I wanted to kill him so much because I was hurting. I'm like, why did you do that to me? I was young, I was innocent. Why did you do that to me? And people never believed me. My mom believed me, other person, only my mom I don't really believe me, because I was like, no, nothing happened. But I said no, and the therapist believed. And I had to go through some therapy for years, exposure therapy. I had to go through all the process of what it was like being touched, what was done to me. I mean, I was mad at my therapist at the moment, like, why are you making me go through all of that? I don't want to repeat everything that happened, but I had to, so I could release the pain from myself. And even after I do it was hard. But being a Christian, that one was the main thing that helped me, being a Christian, because I said, God, why did you let that happen to me? I cried to God, and I said, where were you at? Why did it happen so many times over and over and over? And I didn't get an answer at the moment, but I felt good knowing that he was with me, because it could have been worse. So many things could have happened to me when my molester was doing what he was doing to me. And I'm like, you was there. And I had to tell God, you know what? I'm not mad at you, and I'm not going to be mad at myself, because I wasn't the one who caused him to molest me. I was young, I was innocent. I didn't do nothing wrong for him to molest me. He just wanted to do what he wanted to do, and he did it over and over and over. And I'm saying, God, what am I supposed to know? I'm a Christian. How can I forgive somebody that molested me for so many years? He should have died, and I wanted to kill him. Being a Christian, I wanted to kill him. And I know how to kill him. And I planned I was going to go back to Jamaica and kill him because of what he did. And my family did not believe me. And I told my therapist, and she said, we got to get over it and all of that. I went to the process. I said, I don't care. I still want to kill him because I'm hurt inside. And one day, I went to a family's house over here, not knowing that my molester came to America and was at a family's house, because he's my family that molested me. And when I went to the family's house and I knocked the door, he was the one that opened the door. And when he opened the door, I looked at him. And when I looked at him, I stood there and I looked. And all I felt in my heart was just love for him. I said, where did this come from? How can I love somebody that molested me for so many years and I wanted to kill? How can I love somebody? And I said, wow, this must be God in me. God really changed me.
Yes.
And I had many dreams of him, and he came to me in my dream and he was saying he was sorry for what he did. And I said, I'm going to go to Jamaica and I'm going to record him. Me and my husband, we went to St. Thomas, that's where I'm from. And I was looking for him. The first time I went, I was so afraid to approach him. But the second time we went back, I said, babe, I'm going to do it. And I saw him and I called him. And he thought I was going to give him money. Right? He thought, I was going to give him money. I came to Jamaica, so, look for your family, you're going to give him money. But that wasn't the reason why I called him to speak to him. And he came in front of me and I had my phone, I have the recording. And I pressed it and I said, remember what you did to me. Yeah, but thank you, Father, for delivering me. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for helping me, God, because it wasn't easy.
Yes.
And I stood there and I said, remember what you did to me. And he said, huh? I said, remember the times that you touched me and you did what you did to me in the bathroom. And he said, yes. I said, did you do it to anybody else? And he said, no. Thank you for your strength, God.
Yes.
I said, did you do it to anybody else? And he said, no. And I said, don't do it to nobody else. I forgive you for what you have done to me. And he said, he couldn't even speak. Listen,
I was there.
He couldn't even speak properly. He's a man that could talk and he could curse, but when I was saying what I was saying to him, he was stammer.
Yeah.
He was shaking. He
Lack
was
of
so
words.
frightened that I was saying what I was saying to him.
True.
And I said, don't do it to nobody else. And he said, no, he would not do it. And I said, okay, I forgive you.
One of the powerful part of that, I Pastor Kelly, you had chimed in and said that you were there.
I was.
Yeah. How did you feel when you saw your wife confronting her molester in your presence?
We are men, and I don't want to use the term being a Jamaican because I was brought up well. Thank God for that. But the greatest part I look at is where our heart of compassion, knowing that she has been hurt, and I was there to stand with her. If it was the whole to me, no matter how young I would be or ignorant or stupid, I'll probably tell her, you can't stay there. So I'm going to tell him sorry. I ask him for forgiveness or whatever. No, I was on point with her. Joining this new move, this great move that she's going to make. I tell you, it was a big move.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me repeat it again. I feel good about it. Big move. And I commend her, and I saw where God has touched her heart. And that was a testimony right there for me. And I said, yes, this is going forward. And I see where changes start to take place in our marriage. And let me tell you something, God is good, man. And when you can come together to work it out as one, it must happen.
Yes.
Yes.
Two becomes one, and it must happen.
John, I wanted to ask you the question as it relates to sexual frustration in the marital bedroom. All right. And that's the operative word tonight, everybody, the marital bedroom. My passion, I saw your comment. The truth is, regardless of how great your partner looks, you will still see the other persons you like and even look better. Nothing is wrong with that. It is what you do next. Before I come to you, John, Prodigal, how do you address that? You see somebody, I mean, I'm looking at somebody and the person looks better than my wife, and things probably begin to fluster in my mind, and before you know it, it might lead to something. How do you help somebody who is encountering or experiencing this kind of situation where or how do you help them to accept that comment that there is somebody who might even look better than your wife, but it's what you do after that might be a problem? How do you help somebody who is having that issue?
Doc,
why have you asked me that question?
When have a get us and him wife forgive him. Why me no? When my I watch this thing now, I go ask me if the question when we there road I look for other people now, I should look better. And that's the word, you know, it should look better. Then when we go home now, me know I go to 2-3 days, so she look better. Why me no, sir? What could I call that? So one of my mentor. Now, listeners, this is a joke section where me I go with now, so not take it. One of my mentor said to me one time, say, Calvin, avoid the second look. I say, yes, sir. And him says, so you see, when I go on the road now, I just take one long look. So then I have my other mentor now said to me, Calvin, here's what you do. So you can go to the restaurant, you can pick up the menu, and you can look. Just don't order. All right? So look, but not order. The reality is, especially men, I know women look, but we men sometimes we're so naive, we not even know them a look. A man can't keep secret now. We think we can keep secret, but we can't keep secret now. We are some people that we tell on ourselves. All right? And when we tell ourselves, we feel so we are doing a good job, you know. And then 10 weeks down the road, you remember, you did tell me. Oh God. But for me still, I totally believe that men, sis, why you're shaking your head? Doc, am I talking the truth, sir?
No,
Yes,
no,
sir.
I mean, no, you are. Yes.
Okay.
You are.
Agree with me. It's true.
No, we will go out there and we'll see a lady. And the truth is, if we want to be honest with ourselves as men, sometimes we look out and just look sick. It's like it's just a natural reflex. You see her and you look, and there is no attachment. You don't in your mind. It's not like you try to undress anybody or you try to, I want to be with that person. You just look and say, oh, she look good, eh? Or her clothes look good, or whatever you think that make you turn your head. But you can't try explain that to your wife. That is just a turn of head and your look. I would say to people, understand that it doesn't matter how good your spouse look. Men will look, women will look. At the end of the day is what you do after. And it will take maturity, and it will take some level of one of the things. One of my mentor in the past, God rest his soul, Dr. Miles Monroe said, the way your partner behave or conduct is herself, because he was speaking in a men's conference, is a result of what you as the man does to your wife. The job that you put in your wife, the way she answer you, check how you did talk to her. Check how you mold her, because the scripture tell you it's your duty to nurture your wife. So if we can be open enough for her to understand that, look, baby, me look, but not mean nothing. And now we're going to deal with the wife in a way that her esteem is fully intact. Because if you don't treat her a certain way and she have a low self-esteem, you looking, that's where the big issue will come in.
One of the greatest challenge there, and I'm glad you raised that point, Calvin. I just want to say welcome to everybody who's just joining us. Welcome to our good friend Paul Bartley. Welcome to Mr. Praise. Welcome Salian. Welcome, 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 Sadlin. We want to welcome you all, and for everyone else, Judith, welcome, and for everyone else who is Miss Chapman, DeAndre Brown, welcome, welcome, welcome. For everyone who's joining us on the other platforms, we want to welcome you wherever you're from, and wherever you're joining us from. We want to welcome, 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 welcome to you. One of the issue, Calvin, and I agree with you, and I'm going to, allow John to elaborate on that a little bit. Sometimes, Doc, we're coming to you. Sometimes what we also say to our spouse, be it the woman to the man or the man to the woman, that can cause the esteem of that individual to drop significantly. So you put that person in a spot where he or she begins to think or overthink and begin to ask themselves questions like, am I not pretty enough? Am I, you know, am I satisfying him in bed? Am I satisfying her in bed? Some things that you say even during the act of intercourse, during the act of intercourse, that you have to be so careful, because that can be a big turn off. And then it leads to this amount of frustration in the marriage. And then before you know it, you are talking and contemplating about divorce. And you are overlooking the real cause of why or how did we get here. You know how? Because maybe when you were intercoursing, ah, who God knows you made a mistake and called somebody else's name. My God Almighty.
When you was married,
How could you do that? And so that alone causes some frustration. I know of a couple that it happened to, well, they're divorced today because of that, by the way. It was a woman who ended up calling the sideman's name during the act. And immediately the husband's erection fell. And when it fell, he wanted to have a conversation about it, and then she was trying to give him some story. I was the one who dealt with that case. He was trying to give him some story. But when you check it out, it was also a friend of the husband. The man was a friend of the husband, and everything bursts out in the end, and they end up getting a divorce, and all of that. So some of these things do cause, and there are other things outside of that do cause sexual frustration in the marriage. Now, John, if somebody come to you with similar or same situation, what would be your suggestion to them, or how do you think they should handle that?
Um, let me follow clearly which part of the question you're asking. In terms of what? In terms of
what you say to your spouse that causes the self-esteem to drop, or even the mistake you make, they make while intercoursing.
Okay, well, you see, it, it's a very tedious, very fickle situation, because I believe that each person, let me answer the two parts of the question. In a relationship, I believe that each partner should build each other. You have some people, some persons might think that, why do I need to build you? You have a low self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
And that's ego there. But, we have to build each other in every area. You are supposed to let your wife feel like there is no other queen but her. And she's supposed to let you feel like there is no other king but you. And no, it doesn't have to be done from what you call it, a dishonest place where you really don't think this, because if you are married to this person, then you should really be esteeming and seeing this person in that eye. And you're supposed to vocalize that. You're supposed to show that in your action, in your attitude, in everything that you do, that this person know that they are the world to you and they mean the world to you. Now, when you build your spouse confidence, right, and they know how you value them, when certain things come by the way, because of how you have treated them and because of how you have valued them, then you'll find it easier if an incident should come through, and then you are reassuring them that they will know and they will believe that it's the truth because of your past actions, how you have built each other, how you have stroked each other's ego, how you have lifted up each other, sentimentally. I feel like a man should always tell his wife how beautiful she is, always let her feel like she's very special, well admired, and do all of that. And the woman should do the same. But Doc, you have some people in relationships that they hold back. They don't want to tell each other how they look because they think if you tell me, if they exchange with each other how they look, one person might be taken away from the other. Or if you tell this person that they look nice, it might get to their heads. All those things should be through the door the moment you're in the marriage. And you should know that, listen, this is my king, this is my queen. I am going to build this person. I am going to let this person know that they mean the world to me. And it should be a vice versa situation. You understand? As relates to the bedroom, listen, men are very egotistic. And we have to know from our women, we have to know the things that we do and we say when we are getting intimate. We should not be getting into the moment of intimacy. And when we are getting into the moment of intimacy, we are in the bedroom and we're getting intimate, then, you're going to draw something that goes against the man's ego. You understand? If you're expecting to get full performance, or you're expecting that your man should feel like the lion that he should be, right? You have to prep him. You have to give him that confidence. You have to say things to stroke the ego, and it will even result in better performance. Now, for the men, women are different. Love making for a woman start before you get into the bedroom. So you need to engage that woman, or the sentimental, the affectionate, the sexual side of her even before you get into the bedroom. If you're talking about getting into physical intercourse, during the day you might be planning to go home and get intimate with your wife. The things that she like, whether you're going to engage her in a conversation, whether you're going to go home and you're going to take care of some chores in the house that she would normally be doing, appeals to her very much. Whether you're going to sit down and just listen to her conversation, whether you're going to leave her a note or you're going to just call and say, babes, I'm just checking in on you because my mind ran on you. Did you eat today? Little things that show you care. So when you get inside that place of the bedroom, then it will take it to a whole different level. People have to understand the words that they say, especially women to men, because men will lose if we go into the place of erection. If they're in the bedroom and words come that attack your libido, that will go down and you will feel like your man is even impotent if you don't build him up. You can cause that libido to fall and it will never rise for you. You understand me? We have to know the words, the things that we say to each other. We have to understand each other. We have to know how to build each other and to take us to the level and the place that we should take each other to.
Dr. Toll, do you believe, and Paul Bartley saying temptation is not a sin. It is when you yield, you get in trouble. Avoid temptation if you can. Richard White is saying that's where communication comes in. And these are very, very key point, listeners. Dr. Toll, based on what John says a while ago, that the woman should tell the man, oh yeah, baby, you're doing such a great job, man. When you hit me that side, man, I feel heaven coming down on earth. Let's say that's not true at all. Not go so. You understand? Should the woman be deceiving the man in that way, or should they really talk about whatever issue they're having and go get some help?
But I think that's an opportunity for growth for the couple, because if one person is not being satisfied and they're able to communicate that in a loving, healing way, it's not taking away anything. It's really that person believe that their spouse can be better and can do better, and they're invested in that in the other half. So I don't think that if one person's need is not being met, they should not talk about it. I think the way you address it should be imperative, but it should definitely be coached in a manner of support and love. Like, baby, I love you, but this is something we need to talk about. I'm not experiencing what I was experiencing before, and just have that conversation, because as we get older, our libido changes, menopause happens, life happens. So our performance is net. Your performance at 25 is not going to be your performance at 50, and
Uh,
I think we know that.
I see Mr. CEO raising his hands. Yes, sir.
Me, teacher.
Yeah.
So, question to
Dr. Tull.
what would you say to a couple?
Mhm.
Because a lot of times people say that people are unequally yoked
Mhm.
based on the fact that one's a Christian, one's not a Christian.
And we have a whole topic on that we're going to be talking about, unequally yoked in the bedroom. Yeah.
Is it that, what about a person that, for instance, you have a female, I'm going to just use that, a female, that her love amount, portion, is a gallon. But her husband, at best, is only a quart. And he's pouring a quart in a gallon. How can he ever fill that gap? And does that make that person less competent in giving 100% of his 100%? And it's really that he's giving 100% or she's giving 100%, but that other person is they're just not at the same level. How do you speak to that?
I think it's really about being honest, because if you love someone, you want the best from them and for them. And in most cases, my experience has been that the woman has always been more tolerant of that. Because a woman would think if her husband is given a quarter and that's the best quarter he has, to her it's a gallon. And she may be very resolute and very comfortable with that. But that has to happen in communication. They have to communicate about, my needs are not being met. What can we do different? And maybe sometimes it's just a different perspective, a different position, different conversations, a different environment. Because I think we have to start looking at love and sex in this conventional way. Sometimes we just have to think out the box and be creative. But it really comes down to communication, honest communication, and supportive communication.
So you're saying if you can't go 1 quart, if you can't go a gallon, and you only have 1 quart in one way, Brother John, you can make up that quart with something else?
Of course, yeah. You
But
be creative.
something else, it's wrong.
Say again. If they can communicate and they can compromise on.
Couple in a bedroom.
Mhm.
Man is having sex, intercourse.
Mhm.
He's giving 100%, but his wife is not all that satisfied, or the husband is not all that satisfied. What can they do to make up?
Have a conversation about it. Ask, what else can we do to make each other comfortable, to make each other happy? Maybe they need to go, instead of being in the bedroom, they need to go to the basement. Something. Yeah. Be creative, think outside the box, because sometimes we just allow ourselves to be stuck. And as we get older and we're more mature, we get more confident in ourselves. We have to start thinking of different ways. Lovemaking doesn't happen in the bedroom. Lovemaking can happen that you looking at your wife from across the room, at a conference, at the party. That could be lovemaking. It's not just the physicality of it. It's the message and the energy that you communicate from across the room. Minister Tamika, help me out here.
I know Paul Bartley made a Paul Bartley made a comment. I'll keep that comment up, Mr. Producer. We're going to come to that comment in a little while. I'm going to be calling to Mrs. Waite in a little while with that. But Paul Bartley said something very key. And he said most wives use how they dress to go to bed to communicate how they feel. Men should be sensitive to the hints. Mrs. Waite, is that so?
What was it? What was the comment?
That most wives, they dress when they're going to bed, they dress according to how they feel. There it is. Most wives use how they dress to go to bed to communicate how they feel. Men should be sensitive to this hint. Do women really dress how they feel? Or they're trying to send a message based on how they dress to bed.
Oh yes. Oh yes, that statement is true.
Okay. Yeah,
So why you sit up?
Open.
I was just sitting up properly, you know.
But so
No, for me, it's good. For me, it's good. I can tell you that. So
Right.
that's why I want to make sure that she agrees because glory. Come on, somebody.
no, so what when Jesus help me now. You know what I mean?
Freddie, go on.
When
Go ahead.
when pastor said, when your wife put on certain things, it a come from Babylon. So when my wife put on a look of something now, you know what I say? And me now, then at the studio I go on with myself. And I see she just walk and come in the studio and just stand up.
Take the hint, brother. Take the hint.
And she just have one little something. But pastor say if them put on one little something, then them are all that. So
No, they're not.
what if me said,
Well, it's best you have a harlot for yourself.
you're right, 90.
Mrs. Wade says best you have a harlot for yourself. So that harlot is your harlot only. So Mrs. Wade is saying that.
Laughing about it, but on the real,
True.
Dr. Waite, you have stood in the pulpit for years in the capacity of a pastor, right? Most of us here are people of faith and we have that understanding of the scripture. How many times wrong teaching, miscommunication, misinterpretation of even simple things like those destroy relationships? So there are some people that just come in the faith and they're coming from a world where they put on their nice lingerie and put on their their B riders, and I don't want to say what it is because they seeing people on here. And so they come and they want to look that way for their spouse in the bedroom. But because of the message that has been preached to them, that if you look this way, if you're one pastor say if the lipstick too red and bright, you got hell and stuff like that. No, here's a brother saying, take that hint. Most of us might know that already. And here's a woman of God who is saying, yes, it is so. But then me in a studio, I make music and I boom, boom, boom all night. And then me see my wife come in her lingerie because stand up in the studio. And I say, well, this lady bother me for man. Because pastor say, if you wear that, so me I say, I try make me sin and me I try make a gospel song, go put on your nightie and go on your bed.
But you can also be inspired. My one-liner.
Doc, you're funny. You see, but on the real though, John, you get where I'm coming from, bro?
100%.
So I'm just saying stuff like this and program like this. I commend you, Dr. KJ, for even having the courage to speak about these things and come on here with a a topic, a show like this, putting a platform on a platform, because the reality is that a lot of marriages, and I know I will get the flack for this, a lot of marriages are under pressure, severe pressure, Christian marriages, not because men are cheating, not because women are cheating, but because of men of God who are standing in the pulpit and teaching wrong things to Christian wives, and they go home and cause problems, or Christian husband cause problems in the relationship.
But also, you and your wife could also engage and discuss scripture and what works for both of you. Because, the marriage bed is sacred. It's your wife. She's in your room. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, but that's not what Prodigal is saying, though, Doc. What he's saying, okay, let's leave that to the church folks like myself and Pastor Kelly and John and Mrs. Waite and Minister Kimik and Paul Bartley and the others who are, so religious and preach gospel and blow gospel. What he is saying is that there are preachers.
I understand.
That your wife, especially the wives, will listen to those preachers more than they will listen to you, their husband, in the bedroom. So if the preacher tell them, don't give your husband no back shot now run, because pastor says so. So it is wrong. And so what he is saying is that these pastors need to stop indoctrinating the congregant or the sheep, because they really have no backative. There's no proof. There's no law. There is nothing to substantiate or to even agree with what they're teaching. So they're teaching from their own opinion. And I see this happening all the time as well, listeners, where the preacher's life is boring as hell. And I don't even know if hell is boring, because I will put fire going down there. But the preacher's life is so boring that he's trying to make your life a living hell in your bedroom. They need to cut that out.
Find a new church.
Then you can't tell people to find a new church, my brother. They're not going to do it. But we as leaders, we as preachers, we need to understand that we have an awesome task. And we have to be careful with how we carry the mantle. We need to be open and frank. We need to teach and preach the gospel. I see preachers, so-called preachers, preaching what is not in the Bible, preaching their own opinion, and they get themselves in trouble. And they're in trouble because you are using the pulpit for the wrong reasons. And because we do this, then we create all kinds of mess on ourselves. And then we get up and say we are fighting spiritual warfare. It is no spiritual warfare, it's your own stupidity that you're fighting. We need to call it what it is. So I get myself in the mess. And then I turn around talking about the whole world coming against me, and that's demons. It's not demon. We got ourselves there. And so we need to get a hold of ourselves, blame ourselves, even forgive ourselves, and seek the forgiveness of the others that we've offended and move on.
Amen.
We need to do that. Yes. And this is the same issue why we're having so much problems in our bedrooms. And thanks for saying what you said earlier, Prodigal, because when I just started this program, me get one whole heap of bashing. It's like what I was doing was so sinful. It was so sinful because I am not supposed to be talking about sex. I must preach the Bible, tell them Jesus loves them. Let me tell you, everybody on Facebook is doing that. Everybody on social media is preaching. Everybody a prophet nowadays. Everybody an evangelist. Everybody a pastor. Everybody has a title. But yet we neglect the bedroom, and people are crying out. The same people that we're trying to reach in the church are the
Yeah,
same
that
people
is
who are
their
having these
Goliath.
problems in their bedroom and they're afraid to talk about it. They are listening. They might not come on here and say anything, but they are listening. And a number of people have gotten in touch with me and they're telling me your program is being so helpful to myself and my spouse. Thank you very much. You know,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna keep it going because this program is a sexual program in the context of marriage. That's what we talk about. We substantiate some of at least what we're saying from the Bible. We will substantiate it with the Bible. We have different minds, we have different professions, we have different opinions, we have different beliefs, and we group everybody come on together. The listeners participate, and we try to get information. We try to tell you where you can find it, and they will even call you out if you come on here talking foolishness. Those listeners will call you out, right? Because if you can't prove it, they are going to call you out. All right? But that's what the program is all about. We talk sex on this program in the confines of marriage. Now, Mrs. Sweet, no idea says when it comes it comes with maturity. I think we're talking about what John says, looking at somebody's phone is giving us some problems there. We're hearing it is yeah, somewhat yes. I think that the listener is referring to what John says about looking at somebody. And so the listener is saying it comes with maturity. You know, and she even went on to say she will see somebody and say that person is attractive to her husband, and the husband would see somebody and says that person is attractive. They said nothing is wrong when you look. Is actually what you do if you do anything. You know, you think that's safe to do? For a husband to say, "Oh, baby, look at that girl. Damn, that girl is fiery." You know, woo, yeah. And then the wife looks at another man, same time, and say, "Oh my God, look at those muscles. Oh, look at his six pack." No, you can't do it for me. Have one whole case. And how you fit talk about six pack when I carry when me I carry a whole case, you know. But I mean, I'm just saying that. But do you think? But do you think it is safe for spouses to to even do that?
I think it all depends on the relationship that they have, how they communicate. And I mean, because you have some people that likes to flirt. They are very flirty. So I think it all depends on the kind of relationship that both of them have. But if let's say a couple that don't have trust, well, maybe they trust each other, so they know that, oh, it's just looking. But you have some people that won't trust their partner, so those games can't play, those cards can't play in that relationship. So I believe it depends on their trust, their the relationship that they have. So, but everybody do what they want to do. Every couple will do what they want to do, and know at least they know each other. So I don't know,
Yeah,
but
brilliant. That was very
I
brilliant.
think it has to do with trust, though.
Yeah,
Um, let me
very brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah, yes.
let me tell you something. True story. I have a movie banned out of my house. Banned.
Well, I am banned from seeing Kenny Rogers.
Now listen to
So
me
I
now.
know someone is happy that Kenny Rogers passed away. So I
Jesus.
know where you're going.
One time now, there was a movie called Wanted. I watched the movie in the theater 3 times. And me go the first time, and me go home and me tell my wife, oh, this movie nice. And oh, Angelina Jolie, she just steal the right. And me and her go watch it the second time. Third time now, me tell her, I say, it's a show again. I'm going to go. Because me just, Angelina Jolie just right in the movie. She can't act. I must go make the mistake now and start talk about her lip. That's up now. John, so one day, me dey on my laptop I watch the movie again. Cause you know they fling the shot round and it go around the corner so and she does and go so on the laptop. No more of this movie in the house. It's me or Angelina.
Yeah.
Mitch she. So you see that I tell you look, but nobody start describe nothing. No tell her which part you did like and why you look and all them night. You look, but save some of the details. Not necessary. And a liar, it's not necessary because it can go the wrong way. I know such person, right? That remain nameless, sister. That the man don't even like here. Reverend Jane, got a picture. The man despise every song from Kenny Rogers. I'm because this lady.
And by the way, you know, Praddy, and that Kenny Rogers, that beautiful singer, excellent singer. By the way, yes, excellent singer, man.
Be in your book.
He had some real good songs. Yeah, but God bless his soul. May his soul rest in peace. He's dead.
My what I know, me as a brother, a black man. Yeah, me as a black man, we're supposed to be cheering on this president as a black president.
Yeah.
One day, me not hear my wife now. Go talk about this man sexy, I play basketball, vote Republican.
Oh my God.
No, me say, after me rate this man so much, you know. And, all right, now talk truth, gentlemen. Your wife ever say something about one meal yet? She don't mean nothing about she say it to you there, you know. And you're vexed. And just stay so. And you don't want to go on like you hurt, you know. Well, me don't see me lose. More lose next. Oh God.
Oh, Dr. Tug. Now we know we laugh about all of that. Do you think issues like those are insecurities? I mean, sometimes you really have no reason to feel that way, but you, for some reason, as a human being, you kind of feel a way about it. You know, should we allow that to even happen to ourselves?
You know, we're human beings, and we all have egos, and men have bigger egos, but I really think when these things occur, it could be a teachable moment for us in terms of having a conversation about that. Because believe me, I know a lot of women that are in love with Barack Obama.
Well,
so the reality is,
you talk about having a conversation, and yeah, the story that Prodigal was talking, I actually know the person, right? Yeah, and they did have the conversation, and I'm told that they came up with a solution that Kenny Rogers was going to be banned. So Kenny Rogers could not be played in the house, couldn't be played in her car. She was not allowed to go see no concert with this Kenny. In fact, the husband of that wife was actually relieved when he heard that Kenny Rogers died. He kept up.
We're going to pray for that husband.
Yeah, he kept up so much that he's still asking today if Kenny Rogers was buried because he didn't see the funeral.
Welcome to human relationships. Human dynamics are intricate, and it just stuff happens, and we just got to roll with the punches we have to deal with it. But
No, but
use
seriously, Doc,
use humor and love. Say
as
again.
a counselor, Doc, no, I mean, as I said, I know this gentleman. I know him very well.
Doc,
No,
Mhm.
this gentleman been with this lady for over 26 years, you know? Over 26 years. So they grew up together. They, you know, so, and from day one, this lady has been talking about Kenny Rogers, Kenny Rogers, Kenny Rogers, Kenny Rogers, oh, Kenny Rogers, Kenny Rogers, Kenny Rogers, Kenny Rogers, Kenny. You can't have a conversation and there is no Kenny Rogers. I know the gentleman, Doc, so I know I can talk. And you don't have a Kenny Rogers. So that man, I believe he had the right to block him.
But what are the possibility that she was going to even meet Kenny
No,
Rogers?
that's the thing. You didn't want to know the possibility at that time. Because there was not going to be given any possibility.
What exactly?
I know the gentleman. Probably I know what you're talking.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yes. Yes.
You-
I know him.
You could send him to me as a referral.
I
I'll
will.
help him out.
Yes,
I will.
yes,
I'll
you.
definitely give you. I'll let him give you a call.
Cool.
I will.
So what now? When I go and problem starts, I call out people on the radio and talk about our crush. And say me did vex. How me deal with that now? Because I go and come up.
John, how you deal with that?
Well, Freddie, you put out the problem and now you look the solution.
Freddie, your son has disappeared, but you don't have to respond to that, John. That was just meant for a joke. Dr. Tull, the question there is role playing in the bedroom wrong? Well, not Dr. Tull, Pastor Kelly. Is role playing in the bedroom wrong for Christians?
No, it depends. So what kind of role? Like for example, give me an example of somebody. Because I am me.
Only the listener probably can tell you what he means.
I am me. I'm not setting up myself, but I am me. And if I want to go hide and seek and act like I am a police and I say, stick it up. Stick it up, minister. I'm going to arrest you. I'm a police. I'm going to arrest my wife. And that's my role play.
Yes, sir.
You have the right to remain silent because of my love. Because of my love, you have the right to remain silent. And you have to kiss me.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
That's my role play.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Paul Bartley said, however, no shot back. Go to the mission. Go to the mission field. Oh my, it's okay. That was something that we said earlier. I'm telling you. Well, you know what? The listener says one of the problems is that many ministers interpret scriptures based on his or her perceptions, and so it causes havoc as many take it as gospel. And that's what we're talking about earlier. You know, we have to be so careful. And my passion says so many young couples are in trouble. This program does help. Thank you so much, my passion. Tevin says again, let me tell you, when Pastor Wade was leader at my church, and by the way, I used to be pastor in that church, we had engaged in discussions about sex and sexuality, and it opened a lot of young person's mind. Sex ed in church is important. Thank you very much, Tevin. Thank you. Fancy Reedy, it's a relationship they have. I will look at a woman with my man as well. All right, so she's actually agreeing with you, Doctor, when you said that the woman, you know, I mean, with Mrs. White, when she said that the woman, you know, it comes with growth and maturity with both persons looking at each other and complimenting. I always tell my wife it's a compliment because my wife and I will be walking on the streets and we admire people and we would say to each other, and it means nothing at all. It's just a compliment. You know, we have to get to that level. If you're insecure, then you will have a problem with it, and that is so true. Fancy Reedy. Richard White says you are right. Mr. Producer, yes. Can you mute those mics? You are right, Mrs. Wade. I can say we communicate very good. Very good. Married for 11 years and not a day has passed when we don't talk. Communication is key in a relationship, 100%. And that is true. And that is 100% of the time. Communication. True, Mrs. Wade, every couple need to know what works for them. Also know that relationship changes. Things you like before, you may not like now, or you may introduce new things, but work on your thing. That is so true. I love men in uniform. And no matter who I am dating, I see men in uniform, I go crazy. Junior says every man suffer from Lucre disease. Sorry. I'm sorry.
That's a good way to put it.
Lucre disease. What I mean is every man look. Oh my God. Lucre disease. You can't say you didn't learn anything. Once you begin to look, it's lucre disease. In the age where cybersex is so accessible, we cannot ignore extreme affection shared about public figure. And it is true. Yeah, it is true. That's why you're a public figure. I mean, they come at you in all different kinds of way. I'm just reading the comments now. We're going to be wrapping up, and next week we're going to be having another riveting talk. Richard White says, my wife likes singers, but I can't hold a note to save my life. But guess what? I make she sing sweet sounds of glory.
Amen.
Amen. Nadia. And I bet you Nadia is Richard's wife. I bet you. My husband loves Halle Berry. I don't think he even knows where to find her. So she's not a threat.
How about that?
He loves Batman and Robin. Oh my God. My husband loves Celine Dion. Nadia, like you, I know he don't know where to find her. Listen, we have some listeners. They are crazy. They are crazy. Also, find couples as young people you can link up together with. It helps go, and that's very key, you know. Yeah, find and to be honest, guys, I mean, I'm away from my wife, and I'll make this public because she knows that when I come to New York, we do that. And whenever I come into New York, I link up with the men, doctor. Right now, when we're finished tonight, just the men, and we told the wives, no wives allowed. And as a matter of fact,
But I couldn't come anyway.
no, that's what I'm gonna say. Prodigal son made it clear because Minister Kimika was trying to hold out, wanting to come tonight, you know. And Prodigal said, if you come, then Judith going to have to come. And my wife going to have to come, which is Prodigal wife, and Mrs. Wait have to fly over from Georgia. So because none of that is possible, you can't come. So Miss Kamika, you can't come.
Doc, the only reason why I'm not coming is because, I feel it for the next two wives, my beautiful Miss Wade and Prodigal wife and Minister Judith. I respect them. That's why I'm not coming, because trust me, when we come in a week then, nobody can push me out.
Okay, we have to. Minister Kimika, we're going to plan a ladies' night, and none of them coming.
Please do my
No,
ladies.
listen,
We're gonna do it back today.
hold on, John.
Please.
Yes,
Your
sir.
wife is asking me to ask you a question. Me not asking you that question, Mr. Producer. Not asking that question. Hear what you do not do it. You see, when Brother John come home tonight, you ask
ask
that
me.
question yourself. But listen, we have some
Yes,
very
fancy
understanding.
reading,
We have some real understanding wives. We can't help but love our wives. We really love our wives. They're very understanding, and they know how to have fun. They know how to have fun, and they know how to make us happy. Yeah. So Miss Kimika, everybody, as we close, I will give you this story. As we close, so we went out earlier. We went out. But we decided to get some little snack, food, because Prodigal is always hungry. He's always hungry. So we decided to get him some food. So when we got him the food, John only wanted some soup. Thank you very much, Mr. You see why I love my producer, man. Thank you very much, Mr. Producer. Block them out, Mr. Producer. Block them out. No.
Yes.
Huh?
We ask,
Yeah, because yeah, because you know me a old fridge. No, listeners. So Prodigal was hungry. Prodigal was hungry. So John, being the studious person he is, wanted to leave some space. I say my wife and look for me, my wife and look for me, so me talk fast. John, being the studious person he is, just wanted a little soup because he have to leave space for Judith food. All right? Now, Pastor Kelly didn't know how to call his wife and tell her, honey, I'm going out tonight, but you can't come. You know why I'm saying when we reach down there, sir? I wonder if she change the lock. Honey, you're there too far. You can't change the lock for me right now. I must when me come home, you change the lock. Just leave a key at the garage so me can come in. But we're going out a little more, you know. We're gonna enjoy the snow. We're gonna
You see, as friend, you don't need any meaning.
Thank you.
With a friend like you, I don't need no enemy. Bridget, you see me just attack, so this lady said, oh, Barack sexy and play basketball. And she knew me there on the radio and call the phone. Me have to left the phone and come down here so can join in. No, we left from how long? Your wife there, we are Atlanta, you know, brother. My wife there 10 minutes round the road, you know. We left there from how long they all boat round the world and drive up and down. I drive up and down. We never shovel no snow. Judith, we go everywhere. We go all about the place. Me alone now sleep on the couch. We go all about the place, the whole way. Right? Go buy food, we go shopping, we go all about, we buy jewelry, we do all kind of something for ourselves. Jewelry. Yes. And then now, me not tell nobody why if you look for nothing, you know. Cause I never buy nothing for nobody. No buy for myself.
Oh, buy jewelry.
Good, you think me I keep nothing for nobody again, me not keep nothing. After we done buy everything for ourselves, now the lady are listening to the show. And you are going to talk, so we're going out. We go today already and we are going later.
Set up.
She don't know, so we go to this lady knows, so we have a radio show now.
And we're coming home.
And we're coming home after me and we go out now. Now you are going to say we go out already, then we are going to go out again. You see you?
Listen, sometimes, Dr. Tom, thank you so much. And sometimes, you know, we can have a little fun.
That is like, yo, what did they say?
Thank you very much, Dr. Tom. Thank you so much.
Good night, guys.
Prodigal is an eater. That all depends on what you mean by passion still, but it's okay.
What website?
We are going to leave that for Bishop Evelina next week.
What was that about? Say that again.
Prodigal son is an eater.
My passion, no, said that a lie.
So.
No. A food we are talking about. She knows said me at the least of all of us, maybe John no realize that John and one of them brother there too. Like me, we just drink one soup and wait for the space. We not talk nothing about we not talk nothing about we friend them. When this man drink, how much you in drink last night? We got that 3 and 4 shrimp roll. My sister Nikki can attest that they lying on me.
Listen, guys.
The other thing, we'll leave that for you next time. My wife.
Listen, everybody. Next week we're going to be having another riveting talk. We're going to be having Dr. Carla Dokar next week, and also Dr. Sharifa will be joining us next week. All right. Come back for another riveting discussion. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for the laugh, guys. God bless you. Thanks to Dr. Tull. I think we lost him earlier. Thanks to John. Thanks to Prodigal Son. Thanks, Mrs. Waite. I'll call you later. Thanks, Pastor Kelly, Minister Kimika. Thank you, producer. God bless you. Walk good.
I may say, oh, Lord, I may say, oh, Lord, Lord have mercy. I stumble through the aisles, yeah, with tears in my eyes. I know my storm's not over, but my battles will be won. I've been this place before, yeah. This is my threshing floor. My shame may be battered, but I know my alcohol. Yeah, it be red, journey so long, but I'ma hold on. I'ma hold strong. Use my faith to move the mountain. Pray till something happens. I am not leaving till you bless me, Lord. I am not leaving till you bless me, Lord. I'm after your heart, not your hands, Lord. I'm available for your blood. You can use me for your glory. Here to tell your story, even though I'm not worthy of now. Anywhere that you send me, I go. From the hills into the valleys, from the churches to the street. Me and the dream, but then we are journey so long. I'm a hold on, I'm a hold strong. Use my faith and move a mountain. Pray till something happens. I am leaving till you bless me, Lord. I am not leaving till you bless me, Lord. If you don't send me, I won't go. Where you lead, Lord, I'll follow. On my knees, that's where I go. For my open doors. Won't let go till you bless me like Jacob. I'm desperate, Lord, please fix my focus. When trials of life overtake us, you